Hi, good day, and welcome to my video on how to add and subtract positive and negative numbers. Today we'll be handling like a variety of questions involving adding and subtraction. You won't always come across numbers, but we'll also come across numbers and letters, right? Something that's very, very popular in math questions. All right. Now, before we get started, I just want you to look at the top, your right-hand corner of the screen, and you'll see 4 rules. Now, these rules only apply to addition and subtraction. Now, rule number 1 states that if two numbers have the same exact sign, like if both of them is negative or if both of them are positive, same signs mean add. Now, if they have different signs, like one is positive and one is negative, you just do the opposite. You subtract or minus. Rule number 3 simply states that at the end of the question, whether you add, after you add or subtract, you always put back the sign of the bigger number. And well, the 4th rule, well, we'll get to that in a little while, but I'll just run it through quickly. It just simply states that for you to add or subtract, the types of letters must be the same. Now that one, number 4, might didn't make too much sense as yet. But when I do the examples, like later on in the question, it will make perfect sense. So let's get started. But before we actually jump into actual questions, I just want to explain signs to you all. All numbers, with the exception of 0, is either positive or negative. And to determine the sign of a number, you always look to the left of the number, never to the right. Now, the sign is part of the number. Whenever you consider a number, you can't only consider the actual value of the number, you have to consider the sign. It comes like your hand is part of you. If I grab you and pull you, you would hope that your hand would move with you. So in other words, if you grab a number and move a number, you also have to carry the sign with it. It's part of the number. And it's very, very important that when you state a number, you always state the sign also. So let me show you a few examples on the board here. Alright, so look at example 1. We have 4 numbers in a row here. All numbers, with the exception of 0, is either positive or negative. So let's start with this number here. The 8. The 8 is what? Positive. Because if we look to the left of the number, you will see a positive sign. So that number is actually positive 8. Now, if I want to do my videos, I will always try to call the sign of the number. I just won't call the number. I want you, as a student, to also call the sign of a number. It's very, very important. Get in the habit of it. 11. If you look to the left, you'll see what sign? Negative. A negative sign, right? So it's negative 11. This 6, if you look to the left, it is what? Positive. And this 3, if you look to the left, it's negative. So this number is negative 3, positive 6, minus 11, and positive 8. Now let's look at example 2. This 6, you look to the left, it is clearly negative, so that's negative 6. This 13, a positive sign to the left, so that's positive 13. And look at Mr. minus 5 here. Minus 5. When we look to the left, see a negative sign, so it's minus 5. But look at number 4. When we look at the 4 and we look to the left, we don't see any sign at all. Whenever you look to the left and you don't see a sign, it is automatically positive. And I want you to put in the positive. Don't imagine the positive. Put in the positive. Right. So, now that we know how to identify whether numbers are either positive or negative, let's actually do some addition and subtraction now using the rules above there. So for the time being, keep your eyes on item 1, item 2, and item 3. Don't worry about number 4 as yet. So, Question 1. Here we have minus 7 plus 3. Now let's look at the signs. When we look to the left of the 3, we see a positive sign. When we look to the left of the 7, we see what? A negative sign. So the 7 is negative and the 3 is what? Positive. They are clearly different signs. A negative is different from a positive. And according to rule number 2, if the signs are different, we do what? We minus. So let's minus. Forget the signs for the time being. If I have 7 and 3 and I minus both of them, and I will get 4. But look at rule number 3 now. After we add or minus, but in this case we minused, according to rule number 3, when we finish add or subtract, we have to put back the sign of the larger number. Which one of these numbers is larger? And 7 is larger. What sign does the 7 carry? A negative. So the answer is actually negative 4. Let's try question 2. Minus 8 minus 3. The 8 is negative and the 3 is also negative. The signs are the same. Same signs, according to rule number 1, means add. So we are going to add because both of them have the same type of signs. 8 plus 3 is 11. Look at rule number 3 now. So according to rule number 1, same signs mean add. Finished, added. Rule number 3 states that you always put back the sign of which one? Bigger one. Which one of these is bigger? 8 or 3? I'll go with 8. What sign does the 8 carry? A minus sign. So the answer for this one is negative 11. Or some people say minus 11. Question 3. Popular question. Popular question causes a little bit of problems. This 10 is clearly negative. This 7 is what? Positive. Because when we look to the left, we do not see anything. So if we don't see anything, it is automatically positive. I want you to write in positive, right? It reminds you that this 7 is positive. Are the signs the same or are they different? They are clearly different. One is positive, one is negative. Look at rule 2. Different signs mean what? Minus. If we have 7 and 10 and we minus, we'll get 3. Which one is bigger? The 7 or the 10? The 10 is bigger. What sign does the 10 carry? A minus sign. So according to rule number 3, we added the minus. Well, I shouldn't say added. Place the minus sign. Let's try number 4. Signs are different. So according to rule number 2, we minus again. So 3 and 8, we minus. We're going to get what? 5. Which one is bigger? According to rule number 3, the bigger one, we're going to put the sign of that one. The 8 is bigger. What sign does the 8 carry? A positive. Number 5 again. Signs are same or different? When we look to the left here, we see a positive. When we look to the left here, we don't see anything. But remember, if we don't see anything to the left, it is automatically positive. Signs are the same. Same signs mean add. 7 plus 4, I believe, to the best of my knowledge, is 11. Which one is bigger, 7 or the 4? 7 is bigger. What sign does the 7 carry? A positive. Number 6. Different signs or same? They're clearly different. One is positive and one is what? Negative. Different signs mean minus. 8 minus 6 is 2. And you always put back the sign of the bigger one. Which one is bigger, 8 or 6? 8. Look to the left of the 8. What sign does it carry? Minus. So the answer is minus 2. Now, so far, we only considered numbers. I'm very sure when you're doing maths in school or whatnot, there are a lot of letters involved, like X and Y and A and B. We'll get to those questions soon enough. I just want to point out one thing. It's a custom, it's a normal saying, and you've probably heard it growing up and whatnot, that two negatives make a positive. So students, when they see two negatives, they automatically think the answer has to be positive. But look at this. Look at question 2. Didn't I have minus 8, minus 3? And both of them were negative, because if you look to the left, both of them are negative. You all notice that two negatives did not give us what? A positive. So I want you to get that out of your head. Two negatives don't always give you what? A positive. Only if you are multiplying or dividing, which is what we are not doing here, two negatives will give you a positive. But if you are just adding and subtracting, this question has nothing to do with multiplication and division. Two negatives, if you're adding and subtracting, actually give you back what? A minus sign. So 2 minus gives you back a minus. Let's move on with some harder questions with some letters now. When you're doing questions with letters, don't let the letters bother you too much. Let me explain. Say I have 4x minus 7x. Pretty easy question here. 4x minus 7x. First of all, according to rule number 4, for you to add or subtract, the letter types must be the same. Doesn't the 4 have an x connected to it? Doesn't the 7 have an x connected to it? And both of them have the same type of letters? Yes, they do. So it's okay to go ahead and do the question. Let's get the signs now. The 7x is clearly negative because we look to the left. The 4x, you don't see anything, so that means it's what? Automatically positive. Different signs, according to rule 2, mean what? Minus. If we have 7 and 4 and we minus, we will get what? 3. What sign should we put? Which one is bigger? 4 or 7? 7 is the bigger one. So what sign do we have here? A minus. But we are dealing with x's. So make sure at the end of the question, put back your x. That's the only difference. If the letters are involved, you just put back the letter when you finish add or subtract. Let's try this one. 2y plus 5y. Okay? Now, letters are the same, so according to rule 4, we can't do the question. So, is this 2 positive or negative? Well, if you look to the left, we'll clearly see nothing, so we have to automatically assume it is what? Positive. So, signs are the same. Same signs mean what? I. So, 2 plus 5 is 7. Signs are the same. So, according to rule number 1, you always go back this. Well, sorry. Signs are the same, so we add. That is rule number 1. But according to rule number 3, when we're finished, we have to put back the sign of the larger number. So, which one is bigger here? 2 or 5? 5. 5 carries a positive sign. And what letter are we dealing with? Y. So make sure to put back the Y. Try the next one here. 6x minus 7. 7 is negative. This 6x, if you look to the left, you don't see anything. So it's automatically what? Positive. This is a trick question. Look at rule number 4. According to rule number 4, the letter types must be the same to actually do an addition or a subtraction. This one is positive, this one is negative. You might think it's okay to minus because of rule number 2. But since the letters are different, according to rule number 4, cannot do anything with this question. Your brain will tell you to try to combine these two letters, but sometimes in maths, you don't have anything to do. Be happy when things like this happen in maths. There's nothing you can do, so you just shrug your shoulders and fill back the same exact answer. There's nothing. Do not attempt to combine the both of them. That's the wrong thing to do. The answer for this is the same exact thing here. Right. Let's try our next one. 4x minus 10k. This is very similar to this one. And the letter types are different. So if the letter types are different, if you're trying to add and subtract, there's nothing you can do. You put back the same exact answer. How about this one? Minus 7p minus 10p squared. This has a p. This also has a p. But don't forget this guy here. P and p squared are also considered different in maths. So you might see the p here and the p here and realize that this 7 is positive. And according to rule number 2, since the signs are different, you will try to minus. But keep in mind, and don't fall for this trick, p and p squared is considered completely different, just like how x and k is completely different. The answer for this is still 7p minus 10p squared. Now for our last question, let me give you one. Let's see how you handle it. Is it okay to do this question? Give you a few seconds, see if you can do it mentally. It's enough time. Let's see. Are the signs different or the same? Signs are different. Are the letters the same? Yes, one has K and one has K. So it's okay to go ahead and do this question. Signs are different, so rule number 2 over there says you have to do what? Minus. So minus 11 and 7, I bet you will get how much? 4. Different signs, we use rule 2. We have to put back the sign of the larger one. Which one is larger? The 11. So we put back a positive. And then we have to put back the letter involved. So the answer is positive for K. Right? Keep your eyes on your letters, and usually you'll get the addition and subtraction correct back. But students have a habit of forgetting the letter at the end of the question if there's a letter involved. Right? Now, this was just a basic video on how to do addition and subtraction of just two numbers. I will look out for my other videos. I have more complex questions to do than this, right? But this is video 1, and we're just starting off with the basics. In video 2, we'll do addition and subtraction, but with regarding more than 2 items, like 2 to 3 or to 4 items. And I'll show you how to group letters together and different types of numbers together. So now, I really hope that you enjoyed the video and you understood everything that I taught today. And if you're from Trinidad and Tobago and you enjoy my style of teaching, you might want to consider joining my school. I give extra lessons in maths and a whole set of other various subjects. And you can find more about that on the website listed below. Right, so thank you very much, and don't forget to subscribe and look out for my other videos, which will be coming very, very, very soon. Thank you. Take care.